Hey everybody, Bonesaw here. Welcome to our new and exciting series, Modern Warfare 2 Weapon Reviews. Thanks for watching the video, let's get right into it. As you can probably tell from the thumbnail, we're going to be reviewing the first of the assault rifles, the M4, or the M4A1 as the long history of Call of Duty fanatics that are out there. So, one of the most classic guns known to Call of Duty, the M4 has a very long history of being the first assault rifle that you unlock when you get access to custom classes. With the M4 being our first weapon review, let's look at the video layout first. First thing we're going to be looking at is the statistics of the M4. This will include everything from the damage the M4 does all the way to the aim down sight speed, one of the most important things in my opinion. As you can see on the screen, the time frames are on the screen, so if you want to skip ahead, you sure can. I know it's a little annoying to listen to people rambling on and on, but if you want to see some gameplay, then skip ahead to the time frames listed below. First thing we're going to be looking at for the M4 is the damage it does. With the hitboxes of Call of Duty, the damage to the head is about 44, which means it takes about 4 shots to kill somebody directly to the head. You can see that I highlighted this with the red box on the screen, which is higher than most assault rifles in the game, which in majority only takes 3 bullets to kill to the head. That ranks about 3rd to the lowest actually, which is really surprising because this seems to kill so quickly when I play the games. But anyways, however, unlike most weapons, M4 does have the same amount of damage to the rest of the body, meaning with the 28 damage to the upper torso and 28 damage to the lower torso as well. Most weapons are not like this, which is really shocking as well. Next up on our statistics is the time to kill, damage per second, and rounds per minute. For the M4, it ranks 4th in time to kill with a solid 218 milliseconds. Additionally, it only drops 1 rank to 5th in damage per second with a 385 DPS. Unusually, the M4 actually ties for 2nd in RPM. This surprised me because after doing all this research and stuff, I just felt like, it doesn't fire all that fast, but compared to a lot of the assault rifles, it actually does, which is really surprising, honestly. One of the statistics that I think is often overlooked though when it comes to weapons is the mobility and handling of the weapon. I'll be honest, I did not quite understand the concept until I started playing COD a little more competitively, and I'm not even a competitive player, I like to win. So, the first of these statistics is the ADS, or the aim down sight speed. The M4 is surprisingly good with 220 milliseconds, tying it 2nd once again. Now this does not surprise me actually, is because oftentimes I felt like I was able to aim down my sights very, very quickly with the M4. With most assault rifles, they feel a lot slower, but I think that's because this was actually the first assault rifle that I actually even used in the game. Mainly because it's the first one you get access to, but also just because of all these other reviews that I've seen. I've never seen a video of the reviews, but I've always seen like descriptions or just stuff you can Google, but they've always said the M4 is really, really surprisingly good, so I really want to test it out. Now the next one can be a little confusing, so let's give it an explanation first, or at least attempt to. In Call of Duty, your weapon reload speed depends on if you have a full mag reload or a partial mag reload, meaning that if you reload your weapon with 10 rounds left in the mag, you're doing a tack reload. If you fire your weapon until it's empty, you're doing a full reload. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, sorry. Now enough explanation, let's get into the details. The M4 dominates when it comes to full reload speed. At 2.3 seconds, only one other assault rifle is within 0.2 of a second. 0.2, not 200s, 0.2, which is just nuts. And of course, you know that what that one gun is that comes in within 0.2 is the M16, possibly the worst assault rifle in the game. But we'll talk about that in a few weeks. However, the M4 does tie with 2 other weapons for 2nd to last place with 2.23 seconds on attack reload speed. So you can see it's significantly lower from the full reload speed to the attack reload speed. It drops a lot of places, but it still has a decently fast reload speed. Alright, now let's go into the weapon review. I like to start off these reviews with a little bit of my opinion on the weapon itself. So what do I think of the M4? To give it an easy answer, I think it's an overall great weapon and one of my favorites to use in Modern Warfare 2. Now the M4 doesn't dominate in any field by any means, but overall it is good in almost every category. I mean, it's a jack of all trades. It has a solid DPS, ADS, and TTK. It doesn't win in any of those categories, but all the statistics place it in the top tier. Overall, it has everything you want it to have. It doesn't have the best damage, but it has good damage. It doesn't have the great range, but it has good range, which is odd to think, but overall, I do think it has everything I want in a rifle. Now, I could go on and on about how much I love the M4 and the reason why it's one of my favorite weapons, but we got other things to talk about. Now, I'll warn you, these class recommendations may not make sense to you, but it works for me very, very well. First up, let's look at the attachments I use. I absolutely love the Cronin Mini Pro because it provides a good sight, but also gives me space to see a bigger area. Some sights, they just seem to obstruct my view, and if I'm being honest, if the enemy moves, sometimes I can't see them move because the red dot sight is so bulky. But I don't like to use like ACOG sights, which are the bigger scopes for those who don't know what that even is. But I just don't like to use those because they're just so bulky and they affect my aim down sight speed so much. Now, the Cronin Mini Pro, it doesn't do that near as much as any other sights. Well, except for the other little red dot sights. But anyways, not my point. You also see that I use the Demo Precision Elite Factory because it helps keep my range in check and reduces recoil. Now, the M4, it's really good on distance and recoil, but I also wanted to reduce that recoil so I could keep from distance as well as rush if I need be. Next up is the Phantom Grip. I love the Phantom Grip due to its capability of increasing my ADS. I love ADS because if I'm being honest, I play a way more physical game type or game style than I should. I do rush in a little too much, and oftentimes it can be a little infuriating to die so quickly, but it's because I just need to stick back and kind of pick them off from a distance every once in a while. I did tune it so that the recoil control isn't as affected, but it works like a charm in large maps and small maps. Next up is the VX Pineapple. This does decrease ADS a little bit, so you can maybe think, well, that just cancels out the Phantom Grip. Well, not quite. I did tune that out as well, so it increases ADS rather than actually destroying it. So, and last but not least, I love the Hightower 20-inch barrel due to its capability of increasing damage, but mainly bullet speed. I rarely find myself being outgunned with this class setup, which is always a ton of fun because I love outgunning people. Oftentimes with a gun that doesn't have a good ADS or even bullet speed, it often can affect my very aggressive playstyle, and it can be very, very frustrating. However, with the M4, I often don't see myself being outgunned with this specific class setup. Now, the rest of the loadout can be pretty flexible. I personally like to run no specific secondary weapon on this class. That's because I don't like to switch out my M4 because the M4 is my primary weapon. However, if I am in a little bit of a pickle and I need to switch to a close range weapon, I always have my Akimbo X13's autos, and I always have them Akimbos like I said, but that's just because they're a good secondary weapon that I can switch to in close range. Now, if I'm from a distance, then I'm screwed, if I'm being honest. But with my aggressive playstyle, oftentimes I'm in buildings and not really from a distance. So yeah, I like to run a tactical grenade with a frag grenade, but I've also noticed that Semtex has worked just as well sometimes. When it comes to perks, I do think that Scavenger is a must for this class. I don't know why, but for me, and often for my friends too, I often find myself running out of ammo with the M4 if I'm racking up kill streaks. The munitions pack is very helpful, but sometimes it takes too long to load it up again for it to be useful. Now, because I can get 5 kills within 2 minutes, but that munitions pack, if it's not loaded up, then I have no ammo, and I hate picking up other people's weapons because I don't want to use that weapon. You'll also notice I have a portable radar equipped. In my experience, a portable radar or dead silence is a great field upgrade to have. Dead silence I would equip if you're a more aggressive player like myself, but both have worked for me in the past. I like the portable radar just because then I can hear or see people, but oftentimes with dead silence, I do switch to that halfway through the map in case I'm struggling with a more aggressive playstyle. Alright guys, so we're at the last part of the video. If you're fresh to the game, or if you're a long-time player of the game, I'll just tell you that this gun is worth using. For the long-time players, you probably already know that, but for the fresh to the game players, trust me, this gun is well worth it. If you don't like it, just keep using it. You'll eventually get used to it. I know for me, I did not like it at first, and then I started using it a lot more, got the right attachments, and boy did I figure it out. But it is not the best in any specific category, like I said, but it is so well balanced that you're just bound to love it. I mean, you can't find a better overall weapon. I do think that you will enjoy using this weapon as a whole, just because it is just a good weapon. Anyways guys, thanks so much for watching the first of many Modern Warfare 2 weapon reviews. Next weapon review, we're going to be going over the TAC-56, or the SCAR for you lifetime COD fans. Again, thanks so much for watching the video guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button below. Your support is greatly appreciated and helps me figure out what you guys like to see. Make it a great day.